this is an instant response with a Shadow Shaman. Have not seen this much outside of China. There it is very much a mainstay, but you know, in other regions, much less picked up. You know, yes, you've got an insanely strong right click, but the range on that is just terrible. Absolutely horrible. And it's not exactly like you want to be getting up and close and personal to an Undying either. So it's a little rough a lot of the time.
The thing about the Shaman that I was seeing a lot through China was the Serpent Wards is a great way to deal with the Tombstone. And I do think you deal okay with the Undying in the laning stage just because your damage and the Ether Shock in the early levels you can kind of trade. The issue is you're relatively slow and squishy, so if Undying has something like an Orb of Venom and a position 1 who can also kind of play around, then Shaman's really, your positioning has to be goddamn perfect. But this is something that I saw a little bit through China, the Shaman, to deal with the Undying Tomb. I'm intrigued to see how it actually ends up working, because throughout the later stages of that tournament it really started to tail off and no one was picking the Shaman as much to deal with it. So I'm intrigued to see how it's going to fare in Southeast Asia.
Admiral
Kunkka, huh? Yeah, I don't mind it. Again, it's not necessarily buffing up the Sven, but you know, the Admiral's Rum or Coco Rum or whatever it's called is just enabling you to have a lot more longevity in team fights, especially if you can get it onto the IO and the Sven. So that can be pretty handy. I'm just trying to think of what carry hero Neon are probably going to opt for. You would think that this is a Wind Ranger 4 as well, unless they're going to go with like a Scam for Ember Spirit. Yapso does it for Secret, so it's not out of the equation.
It could have some potential. I think you just need a 4 who has a stun at least for the Bloodseeker. But I mean, you saw Yopaj have such a good game. If this is going to be, you already see the mid lane from the Conquer. Is there a matchup on the Ember and Wind Ranger that's going to be better against the Conquer?
I think assuming that it is going to be like, it could still be like a position 3 Conquer as well, right? We've seen that done a couple of times, and it doesn't quite feel like an Abed sort of hero, right? It just needs to be that space creating, more tanky style, and that feels more Ice's groove.
I do like, though, the fact that they've got 2 heroes with the Shaman and the Conquer who are able to have stuns and also then allow the IO to relocate in. Conquer just being able to tank you up drastically with the run buff. So Team Dog, you're going to have an immense amount of sustain with the IO. There's been Warcry is pretty nice as well, that bonus armor. And now the Conquer ultimate as well. So these drawn out fights, if they can find that, is really going to enable them. The issue is, though, you kind of have to deal with the Undying Tombstone, which is nice in these drawn out fights as well.
What have they even got left to pick from for carries? Like, I'm sure Ice is like, right, let's just get rid of all the carries. Screw it. You know, they're just not going to be able to contest this. I mean, Void's in the pool. It's not horrible. You know, you can basically guarantee a silence after the fact. Good amount of damage can go through during it.
You might be a bit cooldown reliant with Chrono, and I think they can keep people alive with Run Buff and IO. I don't know if they're gonna Beastmaster. Well, now there you go. Like Void's like now off. Yeah, now Void's out of the table. And that's, you know, even a Slark pick would have felt great. That ban really is starting to shine, especially with the Beastmaster getting picked up. And you know, what's a hero that Natsumi wants to play? He's got this Ultra Last pick. He sees everything that he needs.
He could even play Pos 1 Ember, you know? It's not out of the question either. You could deal with it. You could put some solid harass onto the Shadow Shaman. And then what would they just need then? They would need the 4 still. Honestly, like, Tiny's still in the pool. It's not the worst. Earth Spirit's also there. What don't they have? They've got good ways of clearing waves on Team Dog, so it's not going to be something like, I don't know, a Chen. And they are lacking a little bit of beef, it has to be said, on Neon's side. Drow, well, that's not beefy at all. I'm a little worried about the squishiness from Neon. It just relies on perfect execution. And it's going to be Yopaj, Ember, and a 4 Wind Ranger. Okay.
The Drow and Dying Lane is pretty goddamn good, though. So we'll see how that's able to work. Again, like you said, they are very squishy, and their positioning has to be on point. Like Team Dog, they're going to have the vision advantage with the Beastmaster. That's an awesome Conquer set.
Yes, it is. What is he,
But
like a octopus or something?
yeah, he's everything.
He's Davy Jones. Um, but like positioning is going to be everything. But you got an IO. You could just relocate to wherever the hell you want. So vision with Ice, you're going to be able to have the relocate in. And then
10
I'm
seconds
assuming there's
remaining.
going to be a fair few smokes coming through from this Shaman, Conqueror, and Beastmaster.
5
Blink,
seconds
Roar,
remaining.
relocate in, wipe one hero, and then the fight's basically done at that point.
I'm intrigued to see how the matchup with the Drow is going to first with the Sven. I mean, this is someone who can come online a little bit faster in the Drow. So can the Sven, but if you win like one fight, get an objective, and then another fight, you can really start to take over the map, and Sven can kind of fall behind. This is a hero who does a lot with being able to be like one item ahead in against his counterpart. So if Neon can take some successful early game engagements, they might be able to kind of take over the map. But
And In Your Dreams also got the Skrillex Sven set, so it's looking pretty good with that emo fade.
it's the first time I've actually seen that. I didn't even know that was a thing. All extra cosmetics coming through. Some good ones so far, but
did you get anything good from Dietide?
No. Oh, did you?
Feels bad, man.
It was
I got
bad.
the Shaman tongue. That's about it.
That's not too horrible.
It's like a tier 3, so yeah, I'll take it. I want the Undying one, the one that makes it like the gate, the tombstone. That's the real one I want. But I also don't want to spend $40, so
that's also very true. He's costly, but at least the die tie was pretty.
Yes. For sure.
All right, so with this second game, how are we chucking out the predictions here? You fan of Neon's draft? You fan of Team Dog? Can they tie up the series?
I mean, in my opinion, the game could literally end in 20 minutes in Neon's favor. But I think if they make like even 2, maybe even 3 mistakes, if I'm being generous, Team Dog are going to win. Like they just have so few. It's not a very forgiving draft if you screw up, basically. So for that, I'm just going to say Dog has got this one, even though I don't like the Shadow Sharpen.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on Shaman, how he's able to play in this one in particular, because again, I've seen it a little bit to deal with the Undying, but it didn't have too great of a success rate. So see how Polo is able to deal with that. But yeah, the lineup that they have at the moment, just the ease of execution seems a lot greater than what Neon's draft is at the moment. You know, if they can style and maybe
They
take
can.
over, which I mean, we saw how they were able to play last game. If this Wind Ranger can have as good of a performance as what Yopaj did in game 1, we'll see.
And I do like the fact that, even though you've got this Wind Ranger, they're just like, you know what, Yopaj, you can play whatever. Pick whatever you want to try and counter it. We can just throw him on any hero that we deem fit, and he does have the flexibility to do that. I'm still waiting for some crazy Neon drafts, to be honest. Like, this is too much of a normie draft for me. I want to see Pos1 Chen come through. I want to see, mid Earth Spirit, even though that's not that crazy. But I want to see stuff like that. 5 Faceless Void. They are the innovators.
5 Faceless Void.
They have done it. They have done it so many times. He goes gets a few points in the time dilation, and then he builds a Meteor Hammer, and he chronos and Meteor Hammers people.
Oh, God. Is it how's the 5 Void look? How'd they look in those games?
They won most of the time. Most of the time it was paired together with a Chen, actually. And Scam, the position 1, was playing the Chen at the time. And it was kind of similar to this draft in the fact that if he died more than twice, they probably lose. But they just didn't die. So I have faith that Neon can make it happen. I just think it's slightly more likely that Dog are going to.
See if they can execute this little bit of a tricky lineup that they do have at the moment. But again, to keep in mind, I mean, what do we got? So we got a Beastmaster Shaman lane, which is it's gonna be a lot of damage. You get caught out. You see Ice even has the Orb of Venom actually picked up here to start.
Looks like we're ready to go. And for anyone tuning in, Team Dog is formed of In Your Dream, Abed, Ice Ice Ice, Polison, and Afu. So a little bit of people that aren't quite yet in a solid team or are yet to travel just yet to be with their team during or in preparation for the DPC season. So yeah, a little bit exciting to see these players coming together. A little bit of early practice, I suppose, coming for Ice 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 and Abed, both part of EG.
Yeah, try and get that synergy down pat, see how they can continue to shine on this on that new EG roster. But yeah, we're gonna see a smoke up, see if they can catch anyone out. I believe the Beastmaster, that Hawk, wasn't able to see Natsumi. Regardless, I mean, he's just so far underneath the tower that they wouldn't really be able to pressure. So they might try and drop a ward down on the enemy side of the mid lane potentially. Who's got the wards actually?
Abed. Abed's got it in his backpack.
Oh, he's got the other. Okay. Already see just the classical support position 5, just coming to the mid, trying to see if there's a ward situated. Oh, Yopaj. He actually deep.
What up?
Yopaj just de-warded his own ward. I thought the Ember actually granted the vision of the Io mid, but he thought that they well, I mean, the tower did right-click the Io, so Io did its job, but I thought the Ember was actually just in place to be the one that provided the vision there.
Not ready to take the risk, I guess. Your Page is one of those people that are like, I can't give my enemy any sort of advantage, you know, and that a ward at that point gives like what, half a level. It nearly brings you to halfway through level 1.
So we'll see how this...
Good with the blocks again. Perfect position.
Damn, this Conquer set looks nice. I'm a fan of that. Abed pulling out the style at the moment, but...
You pogging?
Yeah, I'm pogging real hard, to be honest. This is a cool set.
Oh. Alright, so they've done it again. They've killed the first boar super early on. He was one that was just summoned, I believe, as well by Ice Ice Ice. So he's going to be very weak for the coming, 25 seconds. That means that Zhao is able to just move on forward. If he gets a single right click onto anyone with that Orb of Venom, in addition to the Frost Arrows, they're basically done. I'm surprised that he doesn't just keep committing onto Polo.
Might go for Ice 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 instead, though. Yeah, he's overstepped the mark a little bit too far, and he will be punished.
Double.
And that's going to be an extra kill down bot. The combo with the Undying and the Drow. It's such a goddamn good lane. The Drow is being this squishy position 1, very position based, and you just have a melee 5 who just tanks up so much damage. And the fact that the Undying is someone who can, you know, really trade well and harass, but is someone who doesn't have a stun or a slow. So now you kind of enable that with your position 1. I mean, it's just filthy.
It is. It fulfills a similar sort of niche to like, I don't know, a Clockwork or something like that. Something that just takes all of the attention away from the Drow Ranger. It's fantastic to have when you're that squishier style of hard carry. But Paulson looks like he's going to be able to get the... I don't think he was over there for the first small camp, so they should know that it's blocked off, but he's just going to get some level into Ice Ice Ice. He's getting chased down a little bit though, but they're just going to settle for the boar. That's totally fine as well.
Yeah, you see how much emphasis they're putting right now on dealing with Ice Ice Ice's ball. I mean, a lot of experience, a little bit of gold, and a lot of his laning stage prowess really comes through from a lot of the summons. How's this mid lane going? Abed, top of the table right now in the last hits, should be having a pretty good time. How does this matchup actually fare with the Conqueror and the Ember?
It depends what he's gone for skill-wise. So he's looking to max out the Flame Guard and then just the value point in the Sleight of Fist. I think it's generally okay. You're going to have a hard time trying to kill Abed, that's the thing. And he has the luxury of... Oh, is Yopaj going to go down?
Abed might get a solo kill, yeah. Pops the Fairy Fire, but the slow nonetheless. Abed will chase him down, man. Abed just that X under the tower, so he tanked up an extra couple of right clicks on top of the creep wave as well to mention. So really, really cutely played from your Conquer.
Boar's dead again. Yeah, they're just being menacing on this bottom side here, Natsumi, as well as Januel. The other bonus is for the Kunkka, you can actually go back to base with the X marks much earlier than the the Ember Spirit can. He has to wait all the way until level 6, so a lot more pressure, and you can play a lot more ballsy if you're playing this Conquer.
Manuel down bot. He's in trouble here. Jimmy's going to try and give you some protection with the multi-shot slow. Now they're actually going to try and look to turn, but the extra soul repeal gets a nice little two-man decay. It looks like Ice is going to be punished. So they're Natsumi with the boar on top of the creep wave. Do they have the damage coming through? Polo, oh, it's just not enough. The double once again. Undying has got all the kills down bot. Oh. Hope that Natsumi would have been able to find at least one or two, maybe even all four, but it's like it's still a very good laning stage from them.
Honestly, with this lineup, you're not even that sad with this situation being like that, because it just means that Undying's able to get a lot beefier, buy up. Oh, look, he's even just going to go and deny himself to the tier 2 tower to get the free trip back home. And, oh, is he dead on Natsumi? This is a bit of poor positioning from him.
Leaves him solo right now, and it looks like Ice and Polo want to punish this. Ice claims the kill. Very nicely done. Just without the Undying in the lane, shouldn't be playing as pushed up forward as what he was. And now Arfu top as well. Shackles sets off for the Blood Riot. And your Dream's going to provide him a little bit of space here. Once again, we see Abed, though, finding a kill mid. That's without popping the ultimate there. So very, I mean, we saw last game the matchup of Yopaj versus Arped. He did incredibly well mechanical wise. You've been highlighting the fact that he's probably, you know, top 3 gifted right now in Southeast Asia, and just, you know, seeing this matchup go head to head, it looks like Arbed's trying to even it up at least in this second game.
Jiao did a good job though of stealing away that bounty rune, so
he might be dead though. Shackles for the torrent. Arbed
should be okay.
Exent, oh, actually doesn't have enough mana for the X, but he's still gonna eat the boat combo, and it's like if they can follow up, however, the zombie's slow, but man, that right click was from ages away. They get the kill, they get the tombstone as well, and well, very nicely done from them.
Yeah, that's like a full level ahead of Yopaj right now. He should be able to get it off this wave so that he's up to level 6, but still living a little dangerously. They know they don't have the ghost ship, I suppose, so he's feeling a little bit more confident.
See, I mean, that second death for the Ember, though, really might be the hindrance, where you highlighted, actually, Yopaj? You highlighted the fact that he needs to be, or at least Radiant don't have as many opportunities to make mistakes this game. So, I mean, a couple of blunders, I guess, from Yopaj, those early deaths. We'll see how his game's still going to continue on. It's very early, but it can be costly for them in the early to mid game. Stop. Play hard. It's in trouble here though. In your dream with the help of Arfu, just the overcharge is so filthy. But now it looks like Yopaj is going to come back up. That TP rotation finds the kill on top of the Zen. Very nicely done. And now Arfu as well actually tethers down to try and attempt the TP out. Yopaj doesn't have a way to cancel that. And Abed, he's actually come through. Wants a little bit of revenge. That torrent just off the mark, unfortunately. Would have been a nice rotation for Abed, but now he's kind of stuck up here. I guess meanwhile, you see the supports are trying to soak up a little bit of experience mid. Abed actually, no, the slides on cooldown, and Yopaj stunned up. Abed, so much damage here. One more right click. So nicely done from the Conquer, recognizing that the Ember lacking the mana to be able to disengage with that remnant, and also with the slide on cooldown wasn't able to dodge the boat. So this Conquer is styling on them at the moment. 4-0 with 43 last hits.
Yeah, he is having a great game. Nearly able to get away there, Yopaj, but yeah, like we were saying, just a little bit short on the mana cost to be able to activate the Fire Remnant and get away. Even getting a Royal Jelly as well, pumping it, of course, into the Conquer, but onto Arfu as well, so even more HP regen coming through for In Your Dream.
Radiant's top tower is
trying to play around with Abed a little bit, but it's been a very good start for him. As we see at the moment, Polo trying to soak up a little bit of experience in the mid lane. It's about to be level 5, so it's actually doing relatively well with the levels for the Shaman, and this is all, you know, high level teams do incredibly well where we see when you're, oh, actually hang on a second, engagement, just trying to secure the room, but yeah, high level teams do incredibly well nowadays where you have that mid lane leave, have the mid hero leave the mid lane and just have a support instantly soak up that experience.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Just holding on to the skill point is Paulson here. So when you put the 2 points in the shackles, that's the real value amount at this point in the game, just for the damage that you're able to output as well as the max duration. Oh, we're finding out Natsumi, he's going to TP away just in time.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Really nicely done. I mean, that's just as soon as you don't want to be there when
Radiant's
Dire make that
courier
first
has been
rotation down
killed.
bot. You know they're gonna start pushing aggressively with the Beastmaster and even with the Shaman coming over soon enough and Arbed. So it's yeah, a lot of damage that Dire can dish out early. Arbed's even going to be able to find a nice little double stack as well in the jungle. But and Natsumi's out, so it takes a tier 1 tower, and this is exactly where he wants to be, just around top, playing near that triangle camp.
Tower is under attack.
There's
Dire's
absolutely
middle
nothing
tower
Januel can
is
do
under
about this,
attack.
though. He's just standing down here, hoping to get a little bit of experience from the creeps dying. Luckily, just out of range of that Hawk vision.
It's like they want to smoke up and actually link with the Undying, but
Radiant's
unfortunately,
bottom tower is
tower's
under
going to end
attack.
up falling before they get here fast enough. They are going to TP in the Ember as well, so Ice. It's going to cost his life here for pushing this aggressively. Let's see if they get the... You know, he still gets the tower
Radiant's
nonetheless.
bottom tower
But
has
yeah,
fallen.
Yopaj claims the kill, buys out the Necros before he dies, though, so...
It's a heavy commitment still, though. It's you know, 4
Radiant's
heroes
middle
rotating
tower
down.
is under
Natsumi's
attack.
here on his own. Not that he's in any danger of going down right now, but
Your admiral is on board.
still, you've got this fan happily farming away. And that's
Dire's
the thing
bottom
that
tower is
Neon
under
were wanting
attack.
to avoid.
Yeah, they're trying to kind of play aggressively around the Dire's triangle. They do have the bounties coming up pretty shortly, but instantly that ward getting taken away.
I'll take
And
that.
Arbed, unfortunately, he was actually able to steal the bounty there, and now it looks like Ember might be in trouble. They got the follow-up control. The Soul Rip, unfortunately, doesn't give him enough health to be able to keep alive through the chain lockdown that Team Dog have at the moment. Really nicely done. Arbed just finding his 5th kill of the game.
Bounty.
And this is without a single instance of this Io Sven being at a team fight. So it just goes to show what a commanding position Team Dog are in right now.
Are you a bit worried with Neon's early? Is this okay with how they're looking? Because we brought up that the minimal mistakes that they need to make this game. Is this looking okay with how much farm Natsumi's getting, or are they a bit behind what you were hoping?
It's looking a little rough, to be honest. I was hoping that, you know, if you're a Neon fan, that you want that Spirit Vessel up online ASAP, just to be able to deal with it. That kill's going to help. But, wait, oh, they're relocating in. He might even die to the Necro Book.
No, it doesn't matter. The relocate, Fu is the one. So finally we see them both showing up with that relocate gank potential. And let's see if they want to keep him down. Although meanwhile mid, Polo rocks it up. Try and put some pressure on top of the Shaman. They can even drop the Tombstone just in case there's a die potential. But Polo is actually going to try and turn with the Serpent Ward's multi-shot. Just deals with him instantly. Also claim out that Tombstone, and they want more, and the blood's going to come through as Play Hard on trouble on top of the back line. Inside the river though, Arbed finds a control, drags back the Undying. Natsumi's got a free position on the high ground here. Ice, able to find the Roar, but can you get up to the high ground fast enough? In your dream's going to have this Stormhammer up in a couple of seconds, but nice silence providing the distance. Now Natsumi looking to
Yeah,
turn
that's
as well.
pretty big.
Meanwhile, yeah, he's just dishing out a lot of the tanky effect, but it looks like now once they get the kill on the Undying, they're going to try and turn and deal with the Drow Ranger next. Natsumi pays the price. Yopaj still doing a pretty decent job at least disrupting the back. Finds himself the double kill, but he's already utilized all the remnants here. So Ember, he's in trouble. Polo with that follow-up control. They're going to be able to bring down 3 on Neon. Very nicely done there.
At least able to grab 2 kills there for Yopaj, so
Step lively
rockets
now.
himself
Your
up a little
admiral
bit
is
on the
board.
net worth charts, but, you know, if it's at the cost of
Radiant's
Sven and
middle
Conquer
tower
living,
is under attack.
especially, oh, he did pop the God Strength, but they're probably going to lose this tier 1 tower as a result.
Haste.
It's like really want to defend it.
Okay.
Full
I was
rotations.
thinking maybe not, considering Scam was completely out of mana, but I suppose Play Hard is, you know, enough of a scary menace that they're going to have to back off.
See how much the Undying is able to drag their attention away in these fights. I mean, if you got that Tombstone just constantly spamming out the decay, you can get a pretty beefy boy.
And with all the kills that he got in the early game, I'm a little surprised that he opted to go into a Bracer instead of something like, I don't know, a Greaves or, you know, something that's able to sustain the rest of his team. Because you can be tanky, but it's not going to stop the rest of the team just going past you, especially once you've got that Aghanim Scepter up on the Sven.
position for the Shamans. Gonna end up popping the smoke. Instant Hex, though. The Stormhammer still finds the connection now with the Blood right on top of the backline as well, but they haven't cancelled the Shackles. And double the fourth wall. Ember is in trouble. They're gonna be able to get the Soul Rooping up Dire. They've used a lot of the stuns at the start of the fight. Let's see if they're gonna be able to come off cooldown here to deal with the Ember once he jumps back forward. Boat off the mark. A lot of abilities being
really
whipped,
nice
but now with the
tombstone.
relocate straight on top of the backline, they found Natsumi. That's a perfect target they get one. And now with the free movement they get thanks to the Ire ultimate, they're just going to be able to hunt down Drow. They'll even find the Undying as well underneath the tier 1 tower, but they're not done just yet. Unfortunately, without a way to be able to cancel the TP, Playhard's going to be able to make it back inside the base. But you brought up in the draft that this Ire really just deals with the Drow, a hero who's so position-based, and you just relocate on top of their head. And what are you supposed to do? And it's just showing right now through these fights.
I think in that fight it was an issue with the direction that Neon retreated towards. They went back towards their, well, what was their tower. Instead, they should have just tried to move towards that that tombstone. They'd already dropped the mass serpent wards, so you could really deal with it in that way, and you would have had the high ground advantage as well. But instead, just opting to go the wrong way essentially, and it cost them.
Yeah, it cost them bid. It was dire. 4,000 net worth lead now for them, and it's continuing to be a game where they're looking dominating. Just this Conquer 7-0-2, and this Ven's getting incredibly farmed as well with that buff up from the Ire. We've only really started to see him showing up to a couple more fights recently as well.
Yeah, that's right, but that's all he needs to do. You need to be this constant presence on the map. If anything, you want to be out of vision as much as possible, just not revealing your exact position where you are. It means that the enemy team might need to be a little bit more proactive with their wards, and that's when you can catch them out of position, relocate, or make the rotation and just pick them off, and then start to take an objective.
See how Arbed and Ice are positioning at the moment on both these heroes, really looking to try and find that pick off, the setup for the relocate gank, where they can lead that pick off potentially into an extra objective as well. Has this Hawk very deep on that bottom tier 2, and they're actually going to smoke up with Arbed and Polo, so they really want to link down with that Beastmaster, and then with the potential to relocate from Arfuan in your dream.
Okay, we've got a Veil as well here on Scam, something a little out of the ordinary for your position 4 Wind Ranger, but it's really strong. It buffs up basically everything on the team. Like it buffs up the multi-shot damage coming through as well. It's spell damage, it's not magic damage, and anything that you can click on is a spell.
Dire are scanning.
See how much extra amplification that Veil is going to be able to help out here with Neon's damage throughout the mid-game at the moment. This tier 2 tower really starting to get work down here from the Beastmaster, so they're even going to pop out the glyph, so trying to deal with the catapult wave, although Dire, they answer with their own glyph, so this should be a tier 2 tower getting claimed, and Dire have got a very nice ward in the backline as well, so they already see Scam rotating forward. They're going to end up seeing the Undying as well. Now Scam, he could be in trouble there too with the trees, so Bloodseeker is going to get scouted out. Just a lot of information that Dire are being able to gather at the moment.
That's exact.
They're going to smoke up, but unfortunately that's underneath vision, so let's see if they can get set up here. Ice. Actually, playing still pretty far forward. Doesn't have enough mana for the Roar. Now it gets a little bit, but it looks like with the Blood Riot silencing him, unable to get any abilities off, but in your dream, straight on top of the backline. Gonna try and deal with Scam first. As soon as they see the Drow Ranger, they just turn their attention. Polo also beelines towards the Drow Ranger as well. The Soldier's gonna try and help out, but it doesn't matter. The Drows can't sustain the damage that Dire have. They actually sent back both the heroes here with the relocate, so now Arbed and Polo, can they do it themselves, however, against Yopaj and Play Hard? They got the Serpent Wards in a decent spot. Atos controlling up in the Blood Riot. In your dreams coming back forward now with the tether as well, just in the nick of time as Polo keeps his life. Bloodseeker is incredibly speedy, but he's not speedy enough to get out of range of the torrent. A godlike spree for Arbed. They've got a 7,000 net worth advantage, and we are just seeing time and time again, this Drow just cannot position anywhere in these fights, and they might be able to find another. As Arbed with this Hawk vision, hexed up is the Ember. They've got the Shackles to be able to cancel. Yopaj with the help of the power shot's going to be able to bring down the Shard, but he's going to be careful though. Nice dodge. He's got the Remnant on top of the high gun as well, but he's going to end up falling. Conquer
yeah, the
X.
X on him.
Yeah, bit of a nuisance there. But they might try and deal with this Ven, who's got this War Cry. Where's the Io though? A little bit on the back. Is going to try and give him the buff up, and now Arfu attempts to TP out as well. He's going to make it too. Oh no.
wish I could watch that replay. I'm not sure if Natsumi just walked a little bit too close to the Sven there. I know he wanted the multi-shot hits to hit him before he TP'd away, and so he wanted to make sure he was a little bit closer, but that might have actually disabled his marksmanship and lowered his damage.
Ice. Gonna be in trouble here. Relocate coming through. Let's see if he can stay alive long enough for Arfu to help out here and send him back. I mean, he's got the mech. A lot of sustain, but I don't know if this Beastmaster is going to be able to stay alive long enough. If they got the damage with the Blood Ride in a couple seconds, Ice will fall. Woo! Very close.
The thing as well with this this Sven Io is that against Natsumi, like I was mentioning just there, and the kill attempt that he was making, but you don't even need to actually focus Natsumi once you relocate on top of him. You just need to make sure that you're in marksmanship range so that he isn't doing any damage. You know, you can just straight up ignore him, go for everyone else, you know?
As long as you're able to kind of put pressure on the Drow, this a hero that really wants to kind of have a pretty free fight where you sit on the back and not really worried about heroes getting on top of you. And if you're in a spot where you've got to kind of play around, you know, dip out, come back in with the right clicks, it can really be a bit awkward. So Dire's doing a very good job, even if they're not trying to find that kill, just like you said, getting on top of him, really punishing the marksmanship. A range, unfortunately, with heroes on top, and now Dire, they've just got an 8,000 net worth lead, and I mean, this game has been very convincing for them.
I mean, it all goes back to Abed and how he was able to dominate that mid lane. I wasn't expecting it to be that much in his favor, but yeah, individual skill, there's a reason he's one of the top rated players in the entire world. Invis bot. Wonder if he's going to get baited into going for it, or if it's going to be...
they want to fight actually up top. Undying. Shot inside the river. Beastmaster silence stops. It looks like Playard's going to be able to disengage, being able to really get on top of the backline. They're going to find the Drow Ranger, so this could be pretty decent here. But the Io is in trouble as well. In Your Dream's going to try and turn with the control. Superman forward on top of the Drow Ranger. Where's the space required to keep Natsu alive? Looks like he's unable to run anywhere. Gets back a little bit, but what's the consequences? The rest of Dire, they're just able to follow up here as In Your Dream's going to have the Stormhammer back up once again. They are trying to play around through the fog, but unfortunately won't be able to do so successfully there. So it's going to be a 3 for 2. You see that they kind of committed. We're able to bring down the supports from Dire at the start, but it's just the core is way too far ahead from Team Dog at the moment.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, see, you can see from Drow Ranger even having to buy a Blink Dagger just so that you can get away from this Sven Io combination.
Interesting. Let's see how it's... I mean, positioning, it's going to be incredibly important. As soon as you see that relocate, it's always just going to be gunning for you. So, just trying to find the position base where you can go set yourself up and deal up the DPS. But at the moment, it just feels like Team Dogged really just, you know, we're seeing this lineup really all cylinders clicking for these boys. And what's... Is this a game where how do Neon really feel comfortable with being able to make a play? I mean, they're going to try and smoke up, but it feels kind of desperation level almost.
It's a little bit like that. You just got level 15 on the Drow, so the plus 10 agi is going to be nice. But well, if they can catch out the Shadow Shaman, that's a good start. You know, all of their lineup is essentially based around pick-off after pick-off after pick-off, so being able to find the easiest hero to kill on their team at the very beginning is a little bit of luck coming through for them.
They got a DD as well, which does get scouted out. Dire got this ward around the river section, that high ground, so they're well aware that Natsumi has the double damage rune to be able to utilize here, but you take a look, Bud is shoved in at the moment, so Radiant gonna have to eventually get that lane kind of pushed out. So they get the kill on the Shaman. It's gonna allow them to get a little bit of farm and find these next set of items.
They're just straight up pinging him out. They know exactly where he is. He's standing underneath vision. Surprised it hasn't been dewatered yet, but they've got so much more that they need to focus on right now. It just feels like no matter where they go, this Sven Io is going to relocate on top of you. And yeah, they're pinging it out. They know that they've got vision here as well.
How do they want to jump this? They're going to smoke up Dire. Trying to look to wrap all the way around where they still have this ward on the high ground. Europaj attempting the TP. Will make it. Looks like play hard, however, is going to be the price. Just In Your Dream up on the high ground, instantly pings out the ward, knowing where it is. But I mean, and meanwhile, Undying simultaneously actually running forward under vision. They just get another freebie.
Kind of surprised he didn't use the rupture just to try and dissuade him from following. It just means that it's so much quicker that he goes down, and that's a free Roche.
They've
Still
still got
half duration, God Strength.
It's going to be a pretty easy one for them to claim. The medallion on top of the Beastmaster. We've been highlighting a lot throughout tonight just the amplification on these teams. We're seeing the Ogre, you know, we're seeing kind of the Beastmaster with that inner beast, the Io as well. So a lot of extra potential. Oh, Polo? Drop the Serpent Wards, and looks like that Gus hindered any more follow-up. Meanwhile, trying to deal with the lanes, it looks like, with this relocate. They do have a couple of towers up top that they're looking to claim, and it looks like Radiant actually trying to get set up to protect this potentially.
Haste.
I mean, he's been playing it well. I'm still, and this is nothing against him or anything like that, or the draft. I just don't see what the Shadow Shaman's really added to this game, you know? I feel like you could have substituted in almost any other hero that has a decent amount of lockdown, and it would have been the same result.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the control at least has been relatively decent, but they've got, like, realistically, how are you going to get a decent shackles throughout a fight? Like Blood Riot, you've got the Wind Ranger with the shackle shot, the chains as well with the Ember. So they're just having, you know, the Hex is really nice. This instant stun lock for someone who's incredibly mobile like the Ember Spirit. But yeah, it's been a hero that China have had a lot of emphasis on. We're seeing how it's able to play right now from Polo, and it's been decent, but like you said, could have heroes that can kind of fill the slotters. Meanwhile, in the river, Roar and Yopaj on top of the backline in your dream straight away finds the Drow Ranger, the perfect target they want to start the fight. He'll get a secondary kill, claiming his godlike streak. And meanwhile in the river, the perfect chain lockdown. Team Dog just taking team fight after team fight without a care in the world. As Neon, they just lose 3 heroes like that.
It's honestly reaching the stage of just calling it, but I suppose the fact that, you know, they're not going to be playing any other games today, you may as well play it out, see if there's a massive throw that happens, but I don't know. It's an uphill battle, that's for sure.
I mean, Dive, this Ward of the backline as well is seeing both play hard and scam, so they're going to be very careful with their positioning. They push up a little bit too far, trying to defend or at least shove off the wave underneath the tier 2 tower. They might get punished, especially with the extra vision that they're being able to gather with the Hawk. This is now a blink completed from Polo, so Shaman's now going to be able to have some extra jump potential, just further making it difficult for them to be able to position here for Neon. Yopaj down bot. See if Ice can get the roar off fast enough before the Remnant. They are kind of trailing him, and as soon as he shows the Necro, he's just out of there. They're going to make sure there's no opportunity for any shenanigans coming out. So, I mean, it's a game where we haven't really felt, I mean, 5, 8, and 5 at the moment from Yopaj. They're just linking up with mid once again. Just back to each lane. They really don't want to give Neon any breathing room, and it feels like they just have to try and play around the triangle camp where they have some vision. The Dire are so aware. Like, they're like, alright, you're gonna sit on the triangle, we're just gonna walk up inside your base and force you to pop the glyph. And now with the catapult and the serpent wards, now it's gonna be very difficult for you to be able to defend this high ground push. As in your dream, pops the God Strength, going to work on top of the tier 3 tower, which will claim it already. And Radiant, they're gonna have to do something here. Those multi-shots just do absolutely nothing.
I mean, Ice was just standing AFK in their tri-camp. He's doing it again. He's just farming the jungle. He doesn't even need to be there. That's how confident they're feeling right now.
An easy set of racks like that, they're going to be able to take the tier 2 mid. They'll probably go up to top if they want to and try and claim that tier 2 tower as well. And in your dream, he's still got the Aegis for another minute. Radiant, they're going to try and hold the high ground, knowing this God Strength's about to wear off. Looks like Dire, they want to disengage, although Arbit's going to get caught. But do you really want to go on a Conquer 3000 HP Shiva's BKB Halberd? Yeah, that's not a hero you're going to be able to bring down too easily.
And the luxury of having all of that HP now is that he's gone for the Torrent AoE, and I hope we get to the point where we get to see Torrent Storm start to come out, because that is going to make a rough game for Trow.
Ice, blink forward with the Raw. Arbed should have the follow-up chain control as well. The boat's a little bit too late, and the Torrent as well. So they're unable to find the combo. Ember nicely done, tanking up the Raw, and now see what Radiant... I mean, still can't move anywhere past this Observe Ward. They just have to play around their vision. Do get a nice little D-ward around the triangle, but it's just... That's all they see right now. This ward up top, they even place another one, kind of giving them a little bit more vision by the river. So important now from Radiant to hold this area.
Paladin Sword coming out. Good timing for the smoke as well. They know that the Aegis has just worn off, although God's Strength is coming back up in about 5 seconds time. How's the time to go for pickoffs though?
See who they can find. Ice playing the high ground. Gonna drop the ward to get the vision now with the chains as well. Raw's still on cooldown. Arfu's gonna try and get the relocate fast enough. Now with Mechanism here, it looks like Esports are gonna be fine. It's a lot of damage with Blood Run on top of the backline. Serpent Wards continuing to control this Drow on top of the backline. Where's the follow-up? And there it is! Torrent, 3-man, Stormhammer, Radiant. They get shredded in that choke point, man. What a Torrent from Arbed and In Your Dream out of nowhere with the Superman. You saw the start though. They found the arrow, they found the Beastmaster, but the consequences, a couple of heroes and probably the mid objectives as well.
And they even got the shackle up onto the shackle shot rather up onto the Sven. So he was out of the fight for a good early portion of that. But still, all it takes is one Superman leap forward, and that is 3 heroes dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and they forced out the buyback on the Undying, and maybe all she wrote, it looks like, within your dreams, God's Strength wearing off, although he is underneath vision. See if they can punish this. They also have the bounties about to come up as well, so they really want to try and prevent In Your Dream from getting that, but unfortunately he's already got it and scurried himself away.
Went for the Searing Chains combo. Who's been caught out? It looks like it's Scam.
No.
He is done.
There's just nothing you can do. Zen flies out of nowhere, the relocate as well. Looks like Arfu wants to join in with this potential follow-up as In Your Dream catches. Now the Undying's going to pay the price, and meanwhile off to the side as well. Conker controlling up Ember with a follow from Polo. They've got the Hex into the Shackles. That's a 3rd death through this engagement as Neon down 23k, and it's
They're just farming the zombies instead of killing the tomb.
I mean, it's the stack coming through. We brought up, well, you brought up the factor that Ice is saying, you know, whatever we pick last game, we'll take the opposite in the draft, and just kind of all fun and games for these boys as they take a secondary set of racks in the mid lane, and they don't have. I mean, T2 is still up top, and meanwhile actually down bot. Polo finds a Drow Ranger, so it looks like, unfortunately, you could be in a bit of trouble here, Natsumi. He's actually going to try and turn and just shreds through the Shaman, so... interesting.
He doesn't have a TP.
Radiant
Well, let's see. It looks like they're well aware of this. Yeah, they're running down. Natsumi's... I mean, he's got the blink.
You hate seeing that scan just on the map that it turns into red. You're like,
oh, they know he's
not
still
again.
there. That illusion bait does nothing. Oh, there's one raw. Wasted, but now with the balls, they'll find him. Natsumi, nowhere to run. That's
Dire's top tower is under attack.
nice little, I guess, full stop to how this game has felt so far with Dra just can't hide at all. And now mid lane once again. I mean, Scam, just the setup that they have right now.
Oh.
It's actually up in a couple of seconds here. Let's see if positioning, if Scam's going to be able to dip out. Okay.
Oh, okay. I think you should have probably died there still. You had the Stormhammer up, but able to just get away in time.
You can get the choreo, and now Polo blinks on cooldown, but he's got the cast range, cancels the TP. Unfortunately, Wind Run's still on cooldown, so we'll see if Scam is actually just going to hold his ground. Now, it gets the shackles, but it's not going to matter. It's with the high ground wrap. In Your Dream finds a connection. Meanwhile, mid though, Ice falling a bit low here, but it's like he's just going to be able to scurry himself away too. So this is just some awkward engagements through the rest of the map, and
he's picking out the zombie on top of himself and just, he finally kills it.
26,000 net worth lead at the moment here from Team Dog in a game where It's just looking to be a very methodical closeout from them. 33 minutes in, and it doesn't.
100% win probability, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's rough. Oh, that's really rough, actually. Dota Plus not liking their chances at the moment.
No, no mercy from Dota
Step
Plus.
lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Well, I mean, they don't see any. What's Ice doing up here? He's
Why
trying
not?
to deal with. Yeah, why not? Perfect. He's just waiting for the lanes to get shoved in, I guess. I mean, Roche is going to be up in 5 seconds, so it looks like this is going to be the big thing that Dire are kind of waiting for, to make sure they don't throw this game, even though they've got such a big lead. You get that extra life, just able to siege the high ground even easier. But Radiant, I mean, they're walking out. They're seeing what they can find on top of the mid wave here.
Radiant's top tower
I got
has
some good
fallen.
news.
What's the good news?
Torrent Storm is available.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's see how this is going to end up faring. I mean, he got a, what, 3-man
Radiant's
Torrent
middle tower
previously.
is under attack.
So now with the Torrent Storm, chances of getting a 4 and 5-man go up drastically, as well as Neon holding the higher ground. I mean, you don't have the Wind Ranger here at the moment, but mid and top will all shoved in, so they're going to try and... Oh, nice sounds. BKB popped instantly. The Eyes fall pretty low here to start, which is a key target for them to be able to bring down. Looks like Undying's in a bit of trouble as well. Pops the Ghost Scepter, but it looks like Dire just going to try and deal with the Tombstone instantly now with the Roar as well, controlling up Scam. Undying's in the next target as well, and Yopaj doesn't have any more remnants to be able to utilize here, so he could be in trouble. The northern side, however, with the relocate coming out in your dream, and Arfu looking to hunt Natsumi. Chuck of the Rupture, trying to control up this Vem, but this Stormhammer not having a care in the world with the Supermans can just chase him through the ends of the world. As creeps are inside the base, as they are able to take a successful fight. They do buyback on that Ire, but they're not even going just yet. It's now with the Torrent Storm. Yopaj? Yeah, you missed it. It didn't really do too much. A bit of a whiff there, but Yopaj with the Invis gets the bounty, and
Was a failed ball.
if he gets the extra one as well. Who's gonna get that? I bet we'll. Okay,
Gold from
that's
my chest.
it's a little bit of a interesting battle going up between those two, but just another successful fight for Team Dog. It's a 30,000 net worth lead. Wowee.
Wowee indeed. Level 25, extra God Strength damage. Not that he needed it.
So that was
This man
second
just ain't
Roche,
dying.
right? Yeah, second.
Yes.
So Cheese on Io, got the Ages on In Your Dream. Not like he really needs an extra life as well, but damage, we'll see if they're able to dish it out. I mean, Drow being able to get set up on the high ground, relocating deeper inside the base is going to be a lot difficult, but I don't think
It
he
ain't happening.
Yeah.
Mech, cheese, holy locket.
Arvid just blinking forward. Torrent Storm's going to be up in a couple of seconds as well. Still got the BKB to be able to get rid of the silence. Now Ice with control up on top of the Ember Spirit.
Storm.
Shackles gives him a little bit of protection. But now Yopaj still, Lotus doesn't do anything. Torrent Storm flying out. They need further up control. And the Ghost Fleet is going to be able to provide that. Ember down, no buyback available. They do get a nice 2-man Shackles, but it just doesn't matter, as that's going to be Mega Creep Gaming. Now Team Dog, well, there we go. The G's are dropped, and we're going to have our third series of the night tied up 1-1.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Way too ambitious of a draft in my mind from Neon. Just if any lane went like it did for that mid lane, it was just over. There's no coming back from that. You have no one that really wants to stand in front line against this. It was putting so much pressure onto Januel to get a lot done, but at the end of the day, if an Undying standing on the front lines, yeah, he might live for a little bit, but he isn't actually doing all that much. You know, once you get the Tombstone down, you get a couple of right clicks onto some people with your Flesh Golem, nothing much changes. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. Hopefully it's a good learning experience for Neon to take from that, because I think they had the potential to have a good draft. It was just kind of going all in on the one idea.
Yeah, I guess the execution, unfortunately, wasn't really there, but we see Team Dog kind of a different team, honestly, in that second game. Able to tie up the series. It's still pretty big for Neon to actually take this map against Team Dog, who, you know, with a stacked lineup that they have in all these players, and Neon kind of being newly formed team, you know, at least getting, you know, a win and trying to get that experience under the belt with the new roster, and, you know, seeing what they can end up gaining from this series as well. But that's going to be our first one actually tied, ending it. Our previous series we all saw 2-0s, and That's going to now be the conclusion of our third series of the night. Next up, we're going to have both the open qualifiers battling it out here. So we got Vice Esports taking on Execration. We're going to have about a 10-minute break until that one is underway, guys. So don't go anywhere.